Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we have a little bit of a different one. This is sort of a mini guide on runes, but not exactly. As you guys know, we just had the release of patch 3.2, and with that we got two new keystone runes being Kraken Slayer and Lethal Tempo. So this video is basically going to be discussing who can take Lethal Tempo. Now, personally, I think that Kraken Slayer is not really going to be taken by anybody, because looking at the numbers of Kraken Slayer at the moment, it seems that the numbers are really low, and really I think that anybody who would want to take Kraken Slayer, like a lot of ADCs, like for example Vayne or Lucian, they would rather take Conqueror, or rather in Vayne's case, we're going to talk about this later on in the video, but she'd probably take Lethal Tempo. But basically, I don't think Kraken Slayer is going to be really good. We'll have to, of course, test that out to see. But I think a lot more exciting rune is, of course, Lethal Tempo, which, of course, gives ramping attack speed every attack, stacking up to 6 times, and you also get additional range when you're at max stacks. So I'm going to be, here I have a little bit of a different format. I was thinking of whether I should do this in the Wild Rift game itself or on the website. Eventually, I decided on the website because the champions here are just all ordered in alphabetically. So I'm just going to go through it alphabetically, who I think should take Lethal Tempo and who should not. So first row of champions, we're starting off with A. I think Akshan is going to stick with Conqueror. Next we have Ashe. So Ashe, I think, will be actually a Lethal Tempo user, and in League PC, of course, which is what I'm basing a lot of my opinions on, Lethal Tempo on Ashe is amazing because with ramping attack speed, you can use your Q enhanced auto attack, that frost shot, to spam it onto enemies, and that will make her a way better champion. So I think Ashe with Lethal Tempo is going to definitely be a lot stronger than what she already is. And generally, I think any champion that can take Lethal Tempo is going to be stronger than what they are now, because those champions are generally attack speed champions that don't benefit as much from Conqueror, but just because of how strong Conqueror is at the moment, that's why they take Conqueror. But I think Ashe is one of those who's going to take Lethal Tempo. Now, another champion who can take Lethal Tempo, Caitlyn. Caitlyn, another attack speed crit kind of champion who will benefit a lot from Lethal Tempo. Basically, the generally people who want to take Lethal Tempo obviously are people who are attack speed based champions, but generally a lot of them are crit based as well. So Caitlyn, another one who is going to be taking Lethal Tempo. Onto the next row. Don't think Corki is going to be taking Lethal Tempo. He's not attack speed kind of champion. Now, Draven, interesting one. I don't think Draven's going to be taking Lethal Tempo because I think probably Conqueror is still going to suit him better for his raw AD, because attack speed is not really what matters to Draven so much, but it could be possible if Lethal Tempo is broken. Ezreal, not really a attack speed champion. He's more of a poke champion, so probably he'd be taking Conqueror still. Or, if Kraken Slayer is good, maybe Draven and Ezreal will take Kraken Slayer, but I highly doubt it. So on to the next row. Nobody quite candidates for Lethal Tempo here. Graves wouldn't be taking Lethal Tempo. He's not an attack speed focused champion. It is actually possible to take Lethal Tempo because she can actually get a lot of attack speed, especially when you max stack her passive. So Lethal Tempo on Irelia is possible, but I think Conqueror on Irelia is just going to be way better for the stats that you get on Irelia. That's my personal feeling, but I think it is viable at the minimum. Now, Jax. Definitely someone who wants attack speed, who whacks people really fast, obviously. So perhaps Lethal Tempo on Jax could be really good, but my personal inkling is Conqueror should still be better on Jax for the stats, I believe. But it could be possible, Lethal Tempo could be possible on Jax. Jhin doesn't take Lethal Tempo because he can't get attack speed. Now we have Jinx. I feel like Jinx is going to be one of the best Lethal Tempo users pretty much in the game, because Jinx obviously loves attack speed. She loves the range. Imagine like rocket plus rapid fire cannon plus Lethal Tempo additional range. She's going to be firing off rockets from way maybe even off your screen possibly. So Jinx definitely probably my pick for who's going to be the best Lethal Tempo user. Kai'Sa is another attack speed champion who can, I believe, go for Lethal Tempo, and I think she will if the rune is good. But if the rune isn't OP, I think she's still going to stick with Conqueror. Kayle, I think, can and will probably take Lethal Tempo. Attack speed is something she really needs, so I think Kayle, with the range and the attack speed, can benefit a lot from Lethal Tempo. She's going to be another one who will take Lethal Tempo. Lucian, probably going to benefit a lot more from Kraken Slayer or Conqueror, so not a Lethal Tempo user, more of a caster marksman. Master Yi, can actually take lethal tempo as well, because Mastery, as you guys know, is a attack speed champion, so Mastery could be one of those lethal tempo champions. Olaf, possibly, but I don't know about this one, but Olaf with lethal tempo could be deadly, because if lethal tempo as a rune is really strong, Olaf's base attack speed from his passive plus his W plus lethal tempo could be insane. So I think Olaf probably could be a lethal tempo user as well. Now with a lot of these like melee champions, just because of how strong Conqueror is at the moment, Conqueror might still be the best choice, but if lethal tempo turns out to be really good as well, it's going to be a real toss-up between lethal tempo and Conqueror, because both kind of have their pros and cons. I can't really say for sure who will and won't take lethal tempo, except for those that I'm really confident in, like Jinx, for example, definitely will take lethal tempo, but not everybody I'm so confident in. So now the rest we see here, not quite lethal tempo users. Lethal tempo on Rengar is possible, but if you go for like a crit kind of attack speed focused Rengar, it is possible. Teemo is possible as well. I've seen lethal tempo Teemo before, because he is kind of attack speed based. So lethal tempo and Teemo might be where it's at. Tristana as well could be a lethal tempo user as well, because she does have a lot of damage on her basic attack, although her main damage comes from her bomb on her E, but her attacks do a lot of damage at the very beginning, not at the very beginning, but without the bomb as well if you got items. So lethal tempo on Tristana could be the play. And Tryndamere is another champion I'm relatively sure will take lethal tempo, because Tryndamere is someone who wants attack speed but doesn't really build too much attack speed. Like you go for items like, you know, Navori quick blades, like IE, like you do go for some attack speed items like Bork, for example, but I think with the lethal tempo you can go for more attack damage and crit focus build instead of just straight up going for attack speed since you need it. So I think Tryndamere definitely will be taking lethal tempo without a shadow of a doubt. He's going to be one of them. Vayne is another one I think is going to be taking lethal tempo, because Vayne, obviously we got that 3-hit passive on her W with the true damage, so Vayne with lethal tempo can trigger her passive a lot more often. So Vayne, I think, definitely is going to take lethal tempo over Conqueror or Fleet, but if Kraken is good, we'll have to see. But I think Vayne is another one of those confirmed that's going to be taking lethal tempo. Xayah, I don't really think will be taking lethal tempo, because she's a little bit more of a caster kind of marksman as well, unless the rune is broken, of course. But Yasuo, I think, will be taking lethal tempo. He is, of course, an attack speed crit based champion, and this might even open the door for something like a Bloodthirster into IE build for the lifesteal, because you don't have to get the attack speed from something like Solari Charge Blade or Blade of the Rune King. So maybe Yasuo can go straight up for 2 crit items at the very beginning of Bloodthirster and IE with lethal tempo, so he still has the attack speed. So yeah, this is just a pretty short video on basically discussing who I think can and probably will take lethal tempo. But of course, you know, I haven't actually playtested any of this yet because the patch has just dropped. So pretty much this is just going to be my initial thoughts and kind of a mini guide on who I think should be taking lethal tempo. So thank you guys for watching the video, and goodbye.